Hi, welcome back everybody. It's Mike Newton down here at Lytham Golf Academy, carrying on the theme of the TaylorMade new 2020 release, and it's the SIM fairway wood. This particular video, we're going to take a look at the titanium fairway wood. So SIM, titanium, I've got the Rocket 3 wood, it's the 14 degree, quite excited to hit this, see what sort of distance we get out of this particular club. So possibly a club that might be more aimed at golfer who's as a bit of a driver replacement, so maybe struggles a little bit with driver, the length of driver. So slightly smaller head, obviously shorter, a bit more in that fairway wood length of club, but a little bit stronger on that loft in the 14. But it's titanium. We should hopefully see some juicy ball speeds from this, is what TaylorMade are saying. So we're going to do that. We've got GC code on the floor as always, so we'll provide you with some data and my personal feedback of this particular club. Okay, so we've seen the family of fairway woods in the SIM range. So we've got the SIM Titanium, which we're going to hit today in the Rocket 3. We've got the SIM Max, just done a review video on that. That'll be on my channel. If it isn't, it'll be very, very soon, which is non-adjustable, higher launch and really max distance and forgiveness, which I think is going to be the mainstream fairway wood. And then you've obviously got the draw bias, the D-type, for all the sort of faders or slicers out there. So we're going to concentrate on the titanium head here. So something a little bit different with this one. It's a bit more of personalisation because we've got the adjustable neck sleeve in this model. We don't have that in the SIM Max head. That is glued product. So this is adjustable. So we can dial in that loft and that face angle to possibly suit a golfer's desired shot shape or trying to reduce a certain bad shot they've got in their game. So with it being titanium, again, it's saving more weight. So we've got the carbon, we've got the titanium against the steel headed of the SIM Max. We've now titanium head, saving more weight, so that's allowing them to put an 80-gram metal steel sole plate in. So again, that's lowering that centre of gravity, pulling a little bit of weight sort of low in that club. We've got a weighted screw which is positioned forward in the club face, or in the sole should I say, near the club face. So again, that's probably helping to control spin a little bit more. Speed pockets in there for those slight low strikes. Twist face, as we know, and twist face for me, it looks more pronounced than the fairway woods. I did say this in the video, the SIM Max fairway wood, you just see more of that twisting of the shape of the head, so it looks more curvature, which I'm not a great fan of. It looks like I can hit it more offline when it's more curvature on that club face. So sitting the club down by the golf ball, again, I love the shaping of the head, of the back section. Loving the colour, that off-white with that grey carbon, I think looks great. The SIM bit in the right in the heel, I don't think they need that. It's just, it takes your eye away from the club head a little bit. I don't think they need that, to be honest, but I do quite like the look of the head itself. Again, the slight downside for me is I've got this set as standard in a 14 degree 3 standard neck setting, and that sits close to me. The face just looks like it's pointing left. That does put me off a little bit, but we have got the luxury of adjusting that neck sleeve. So we'll start off with it in the standard head, see what happens. It does feel like this is going to go more left for me, which is a little bit off-putting, but let's give this first one a hit. Okay, so that was a bit of a strange noise, different noise to the what we've seen before. A little bit low in the face, wasn't the greatest of strikes there, so 271, not the biggest of hits to be honest, but we know it's not all about distance. Little bit low in that heel, see that ball just stay up that left hand side fractionally. Gets up that left. That does, I mean, that's a long way left. You know, I'm guessing that, you know, it's clearly a bit of me there, but that club face just feels like I'm going to hit that shot, which isn't great. So I'm more urged to blame the club there than myself, obviously. I know it is a little bit me. So my path there was slightly into outs. Clearly I've closed the club face on that to create that shape. A lot of curvature on that. It's just off putting, is that for me? Yeah, there's my protection. Leave that face open, so I'm reacting to that last shot I've hit, as you would do. So I'm going to adjust this because I'm not overly keen on the way that sits. So I'm going to take loft off. So this is maybe a little bit the luxury of the titanium fairway wood and the SIM, as you've got that playability with the neck sleeve to dial that in. Obviously the SIM Max, it's a glue product, so you can't do that. So I'm just going to adjust this down loft. Now, as you drop the loft, the way the TaylorMade neck sleeve works is you're going to open the club face. So I'm going to drop, you can drop it by down to 2 degrees but also go up by 2 degrees as well, maximum. Obviously you've got little increments in between there, but got to remember, as you add loft to the TaylorMade neck sleeve, you are going to close the club face. As you take loft off, it's going to open the club face. So I'm going to take this right down to a full lower setting, which is 2 degrees lower than what it is. So that's going to take this down to a 12 degree, but this is going to open the club face. So hopefully this will sit more desirable for me down by the golf ball. Let's have a little look. Yeah, I mean that to me sits square now. That sits so much better to my eye. It just looks, as I put the club down, it just sits square to me. So this gives me a bit of confidence. Interesting to see what just happens here now with these runner shots. Got to remember, this is now 12 degrees, so should see this come out a little bit lower. Yeah, fraction up the left, but not shaping near as much. Really good strike there, to be honest. A little bit more distance there. Should see a little bit more out of that now with that slightly lower loft. That's spun at 2,400. Ball speed 159, so a decent bit of ball speed there. Yes, that again, it's a little bit low in the club face, a bit more neutral. It's a very different sound to that. Again, it's not that dull, muted sound. It's a little bit more high pitch. It just gives a feel that it's not a solid sound. Even gives me an impression like it's something not quite secure in the head, like it's a little bit loose. Clearly, it's all fixed and it's perfect, you know. But it's just a different acoustic. Whether it's that titanium body with that heavy metal sole plate, steel sole plate, giving that slightly different acoustic sound, just doesn't feel as solid to me in that sort of sound. Don't like the sound of it as much. Yeah, I'm struggling to control. I don't know, it's just not sitting comfortable with me. I just don't feel like I can control that. That felt like a better strike, clearly left the face more open. I just feel like I'm protecting that left sort of shot there. So just not quite sort of sitting with me. So it's available. This is a Rocket 3 14 degree. That's available right hand only. So unfortunately for you left-handers, you will not get the Rocket 3. However, they do a standard 3, which is 15 degree, and a 19 degree 5 wood. So they're both available in right and left hand. Again, you've got that adjustability, so you can change that loft up or down, but just remember, it will change that face angle a little bit as you sort of do that. Okay, let's go and check some numbers out. Didn't quite feel as comfortable with me, a little bit of a big shot dispersion there, unfortunately, but let's go and look at some numbers and see how that is performing. So just start off with a look at that dispersion. Not great. You can see I've got that big left miss. Obviously I did change that club face in and around there as well, but then protected that with somewhere I felt like I had to hold it open. Just didn't really feel like I could let that go. Wasn't keen on the sound of that club, to be honest. I like the look of it, apart from the way the standard neck setting sat very, very close. It did sit better for me in that open position, but then I had to knock that down at 12 degrees. So if I wanted a 14 degree square, I would probably be going into buying a 15 degree and knocking loft down to get obviously back to that 14 degree loft, which is going to then open that club face. So again, that is an option for you to do. Looking at some numbers there, I've gone to the table. So we can see ball speed 159, so a fraction more maybe than what we saw with the SIM Max. But again, you've got to remember I've got less loft there than the SIM Max, so should expect to see a little bit more ball speed. But I didn't really strike those great, to be honest. Launching 9 degrees, spin at 2.8, so maybe that weight forward, getting those slightly lower spin ones. But having said that, I did turn some more left, which will drop a little bit of spin off those numbers there. 27 peak height, 258 through the air, running at 279, peaking at 291 that last particular shot, but just struggling to control that dispersion for me. Right, okay guys, so there we go. There's a SIM Titanium Rocket 3 fairway. Doesn't quite float my boat for me, unfortunately. Just didn't quite like that sound. Don't like the way that sort of sits for me personally. Again, you guys might look at that and go, that sounds amazing. I love the way that sits, and you will probably hit it as good. So always try these. Don't just take my word from it and go say, well, I don't want to do that. I don't want to buy that. I'm going to buy that because I've said so. Please go and try it. I always recommend you go and get fitted. A lot of neck settings. We've got the SIM Max. We've got the SIM Titanium with adjustability. There's different options to try, shaft options. So always get fitted is my message to you guys. Post comments down below. Any thoughts on the SIM range, the SIM Titanium? Would you look at that, maybe that drive a replacement club off the tee. I think that's where that would probably sit in a little bit more against the standard Sim Max fairway. Post your comments as always. Thanks very much for watching, appreciate watching the videos. If you haven't subscribed, you know what to do. Go and hit that subscribe button, ring that bell. Follow up on social media platforms, both Instagram and Twitter, and the handles there are @MNGolfCoach. And hopefully we'll catch up with you all very soon.